Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Aaron, and I'm sitting here in my living room with my roommate, Marcus, who's currently pretending like he doesn't have a care in the world. Which, let's be real, is pretty much his default mode. We've been roommates for about 6 months now, and everything seemed fine. Well, until it wasn't. Okay, so basically, I started noticing that some of my stuff was missing, and at first, I thought maybe I just misplaced it or borrowed something from someone else without asking. But the more it happened, the more I realized that something was off. Marcus is a really chill guy, always has been. He's got this relaxed demeanor that's kind of infectious, which is why our friendship works so well. We met through mutual friends a few years ago, and we just clicked. He's one of those people who can effortlessly make you laugh, even on your worst day. Idris, on the other hand, is like the polar opposite. He's super uptight and always seems to be on edge, which kind of freaked me out at first. But once I got to know him better, I realized he's just really passionate about life and gets a little intense when things don't go his way. Anyway, back to Marcus. So I started doing some investigating, setting up cameras, checking the fridge for signs of missing food, no judgments, guys. And let me tell you, it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But then, one day, I caught him taking something that didn't belong to him. It was actually pretty funny at first. He was trying to hide this ridiculous-looking vase from my collection behind his favorite video game box. Like, what even is the point of keeping that thing? And yet, I couldn't help but laugh. It was just so obvious. But then he caught me staring and quickly realized where the camera was pointed. So basically, we had a mini confrontation right there in the living room. He confessed to taking stuff from me. Okay, fine, it started with just one little item, and I just kind of froze. Because what do you say when someone confesses to stealing from you? Do you get all confrontational and aggressive, or do you try to stay calm and reason with them? Marcus looked really nervous, but he still managed to spin the situation as if he was doing me a favor. Like, hey Aaron, I know it's weird that I took your vase, but honestly, I just needed something to brighten up my room. Sure. And by brighten up, you mean add to my collection of questionable decorative choices? I tried to keep my cool, but inside, I was seething. How could he do this to me? We were roommates for months, and I had no idea he was taking from me. I thought we had a good relationship, or at least, that's what I told myself. Marcus continued to spin his story, claiming that he only took small items because he knew it wouldn't hurt me too much. But the truth was, it did hurt me, a lot. He was always taking things without asking, like my favorite sweater or my laptop charger. And now, I realized that he must have been doing this for months. I didn't know what to do next. Part of me wanted to just confront him and make him pay for his actions, but another part of me thought it would be better to keep a level head and try to talk things through with him. But as we continued to argue in the living room, I realized that Marcus wasn't interested in listening. He became defensive and aggressive, telling me that I was being too sensitive and that he didn't mean to hurt my feelings. And then, something snapped inside of me. I couldn't take it anymore, the lying, the taking, the complete disregard for our roommate agreement. I stood up, my heart racing with anger and betrayal. Get out, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Just get out of my house. Marcus's eyes widened in surprise, but he didn't argue. He just turned around and walked out of the living room, leaving me standing there alone. I felt a mix of emotions, sadness, anger, and a deep sense of hurt. But as I stood there, trying to process everything that had happened, I realized that this wasn't over. Marcus was still in my house, and I knew he would come back if he wanted to. And when he did, I would be ready for him. But for now, all I could do was sit down on the couch and try to gather my thoughts. And then, just as I was starting to calm down, I heard a knock at the door. It was Idris, our other roommate. He had no idea what had happened between Marcus and me, but he looked concerned when he saw the look on my face. Hey, everything okay? He asked, sitting down beside me on the couch. I shook my head, trying to explain what had just happened. But as I started talking, I realized that it was going to take a lot longer than just explaining. It was going to take a whole lot more to get through this situation. As Idris listened to me recount the events of the past few months, his expression grew from concern to shock. When I finally finished speaking, he sat in silence for a moment before speaking up. I had no idea, he said softly. I mean, I knew Marcus wasn't the most reliable guy, but I never suspected anything like this. I looked at him, feeling a mix of emotions. On one hand, it was good to know that Idris wasn't in on Marcus's scheme. On the other hand, I couldn't help but wonder how long he had been aware of what was going on. It makes sense now, Idris continued. I remember those missing socks and the time you lent him money without getting it back. I just assumed you were being paranoid. I felt a stinging sensation in my eyes as I remembered those moments. But seeing Idris's genuine concern made me smile slightly. Thanks for understanding, guys, I said, my voice shaking. It means a lot to have friends like you who would stick by me even when I'm being irrational. Idris put his arm around me, and we sat together in silence for a while, watching the sun set through the window. Eventually, Idris spoke up again. We need to do something about this, he said firmly. Not just with Marcus, but with you too. You deserve better than someone who takes advantage of your trust like that. I nodded in agreement, feeling a sense of determination wash over me. With Idris's help, we came up with a plan to confront Marcus and get my belongings back. The confrontation was tense, but ultimately, it ended without any major incidents. We recovered most of the stolen items, and Marcus apologized profusely for his actions. It wasn't enough, of course, nothing could erase what had happened, but it was a start. As I watched Marcus pack up the remaining belongings from my room, I couldn't help but feel a sense of closure. But as I turned to look at Idris and myself, I realized that this experience had changed me in ways I was still trying to understand. And honestly, I still think about it sometimes, wonder how many other times someone took advantage of me when I wasn't looking, or if there were people out there who knew exactly what they wanted from me but never showed their hands.